Good afternoon, Full Throttle faithful. This is Josh Kiwis, joined by my partner, brother, whatever you want to say. He is there. He's always here. Chris Kiwis, as we are up here in the Full Throttle booth. And Chris, we're at the beautiful Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're about to see 120 laps here as the field is starting to pop in, grid up just a little bit. Qualifying just ended. As we are here, like I said, at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Kiss the Bricks 300, correct, Chris? 300? Okay, sorry. I knew that's what it was. I was going to ask you, but you started counting me down to go live, so I didn't want to interrupt you. But Kiss the Bricks 300 is going to be a great race here at Indianapolis. We've seen some very good action this season, but just waiting on Josh Susido to pop in. But we've seen some great action this season from these drivers here. It's going to be one of those, I think, tonight, Chris, where here in Indianapolis, you got to have a good long run. This isn't a shorter track. This isn't a 1.5 mile. This is a big 2.5 mile oval. It's a big track. You've got to really make every run count. Each turn here is its own corner, really. This is a legit turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4 track. You know, these ovals, obviously, yes, you do actually have turns 1 and 2 in them, but this is a legit turn 1 and 2. Each turn is like pretty much the tunnel turn at Pocono, and that's how it is. That's what the tunnel turn at Pocono is modeled after. So just think of that, and that's what you got to do here in Indianapolis. This track is historic, but speaking of historic, hopefully we'll have a historic night. And Chris, that is a new race car. Oh my goodness. The 81 of Josh Susi finally getting out of the Hello Kitty, and looks like he's going to be in a slick race car here tonight. He's going to roll off pole position with Ken Baum Jr. starting P2. As the field is starting to roll, Kip Easley, you see him back there in that inside lane. He's going to roll off in that P3 position. Then we'll see it. Kyler McCarthy in that P4 spot. Rolling behind them, you got Carson Pittman, not Cartman Pittman. Carson Pittman rolling off P5 here tonight with Lucas Nilges. That's another slick-looking race car. Rolling P6. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. As we'll see Dylan Hastings down there. He'll be rolling in that P7 position. We'll see David Smill rolling P8. Am I back off a position? No, I'm not. Okay, excuse me. Am I? Okay. We'll see Chad Ingle starting P9 here with Matthew Fitz P10. William Brown P11 with Chris Lynn P12. Or excuse me, flip that around. Chris Lynn 11th, William Brown 12th. Then we'll see Jimmy Barr 13th with Don DeGroot 14th. They're all over the place. Yeah, they're all over the place right now. 13th and 14th, and then we'll see Shane Weldon in that 15th position. We'll see Brady Green outside of him in 16th. Robbie Bice, I think, is on that inside lane. Who is that? No, that's not Shane Weldon. That's whoever's behind Shane Weldon, Chris. I just called out Shane Weldon. I think that's Bill Hell's back there. They're all over the place right now, man.
Yeah, they're all over the place here, so I'm just going to go ahead and round it out for you. You got Don DeGroot 17th, Brody Green 18th, Shade Weldon 19th, Robbie Bice in that 20th position, but you're also going to have to flip down Jaden Bingham. It looks like he is rolling off in that bottom position. With Bill Hells falling back, taking that EOL like he normally does.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get the grid all confused. We'll see the pace car take that left turn. The 81 of Josh Susi, the 2 of Ken Baum Jr. They're going to take the green flag here now. It is green, green, green. And here these drivers go. They're going to fire off down the front straightaway for the first time here tonight. And Chris, we're going to maybe see some chaos going here in a turn 1 for the first time tonight. We'll see how these guys get it settled. So far, so good here in this front pack between the first 10 drivers. And it's going to be Susi, Baum, Easley, McCarthy, and Pittman, still all your top 5. No movement between your top 5 right now. As from 6 on back, we are seeing a little bit of movement going on as your top 5 is single file there on that inside lane coming out turn 2. And down the back straightaway, we will see some big drafts here at this track. Some big, long straightaways here in Indianapolis will really set you up for some big runs down into that turn 3 section and down into that turn 1 section as you come off the back end front stretch.
Yeah, this is going to be where you're going to watch a lot of your races really come down to, whether or not they're going to make it. This turns 3 and 4 aren't really that important. It's that back straightaway and that front straightaway where a lot of your passes can be made, and how you enter those corners is really going to be the interesting thing to see how these drivers handle it. As you're already starting to see the top 5, Susi, Baum Jr., Easley, McCarthy, and Pittman already starting to pull away from the pack. They've got about a 2-second gap.
Oh, look
Whoa,
at
is
that.
this a
The
little
car
bit of
loose
smoke
back
back
there.
there? Looks
It
like,
looks like William Brown.
yeah, William Brown, a little
No,
loose.
no, it's not. Is that Chad Engel? I'm not sure who that is. 69 to Matthew Fitz. That's who it is. He was all sorts of loose, Chris, saying
Yeah.
ghost. Well, that was scary loose. That's what that was. You see the ghost on the race car. Well, there was a ghost driving that race car, man, because that thing was wicked loose. Did he get a bump coming in the corner entry from that 32? We'll see. Oh, yeah, he did. That wasn't loose. It's just Chris Lynn got into the back of that machine, and he's trying to save it, chasing it up, still chasing it. Don't know what he's doing now. I think he's just goofing off. Then he throws it around. Caution flag going to come out for Matthew Fitz.
I'm sorry, but man, oh man, it looks like we're gonna have to go here and watch just what happened, because I'm not gonna lie to you, though, he is sawing on it right now, and that's all I could see was that car going left and right and left and right and left and right. So I just have to see it from his point of view. You see, he's already trying to say, whoop, didn't go back far enough. Say he did a really good job of keeping a hold of it, keeping it underneath him. As you see, going into the corner, like you said, Josh, Chris Lynn just gave him a big bump. Big old bump. He was able to keep it. Car's just not wanting to get settled out, but he's not wanting to get out of it. But there you see, just trying to get out from under him. He was able to keep it underneath him. That's all that matters. He kept it out of the wall. And that's what could have happened. Nobody got into him except for that shot from Chris Lynn. He's gonna live to survive another day in that new Ghost 69 or Ghost Racing 69 machine. Looks a good looking race car.
Yeah, I don't think that's how Princess Banana Hammock wanted the race to start off for him, but here at lap 3, he will be the reason the caution pops out after some assistance from that 32 of Chris Lynn. But we'll get back up here on board with your leaders as we're coming through caution and just talk about the race we saw there. We really saw Kip Easley, the moments we did watch, trying to open up on the straightaways. I saw a couple times here down the front stretch. He was wanting to make that pass. It like for a moment he was wanting to stick in there. And we saw the first 5 drivers all the way down to Carson Pittman staying in single file. We'll see after this restart, Chris, if it mixes it up a little bit. See a couple drivers come down pit road, take some fuel, top up here, run just a little bit longer under green flag conditions, and some of these guys, just maybe just part of pit strategy.
Yeah, but something you were saying just a second ago, Josh, is coming down that straightaway, a lot of the drivers, like you said, top 5 were staying single file. So they were able to distance that gap between Dylan Hastings and everybody else behind him. They were back there battling for position, and the top 5 just kind of stuck single file and took off. So gonna see if they do that again. Not a lot of battling going on up in there. The top 5 didn't change any positions. They just singled out, and the next thing I know, they were already 2 corners into it, and they were already 2 seconds up. So it just goes to show you how fast these straightaways can pull you away from each other.
Yeah, big straightaways here too. Not anything like we're used to anywhere else. Big long straightaways here. I mean, Talladega, obviously Daytona, similar straightaways. The Long Pond straightaway at Pocono, very long as well. But something about it, man. In Indianapolis, it just feels like it's never gonna end. And looking at that long straightaway into that corner just doesn't feel safe, It just doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you're supposed to go into that corner, full throttle down the back straightaway and go, oh hey, I'm gonna enter this corner. It just doesn't look safe.
And the corner speed is fast, Chris, like 160. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're going, only like 120 through there. They aren't slowing down a lot. Maybe 30 miles an hour. I mean, they were.
I did notice in practice a lot of drivers were shifting down into 4th gear to enter the corner.
They do shift. They do shift here.
So, a lot of drivers.
You used to not shift here at Indianapolis back in the old cars in the 4 speeds. Or these 5 speeds, you do see a lot of shifting now.
The pace light should be off this time by. It's going to get a lot of drivers just an opportunity to kind of gauge out their car now. They got to race around each other for a few minutes. They got to see how their cars are going to react in the dirty air. So now this is going to be where it's interesting to see who's going to make a move? You know, is Kip Easley going to try to make a move and get back, or get up in front? We saw him in practice. He was doing pretty good in practice. Qualifying, you did see he did set third fastest lap. So just gonna see if he's gonna have any moves, or if he's just gonna cruise behind Susie, or if Ken Baum is gonna try to make a move. We know him and Susie have been battling out for that podium position here these last couple of weeks. So I'm really excited to see how this is about to play out over 115 laps now.
Yeah, Chris, and it could play out really quickly, really fast here with this restart happening here. We could have something really quickly happen. I mean, not saying that they're going to go out there and try to wreck each other or anything, not in that terms. I know that's not what you mean either, but just saying with these restarts building up here, something could happen quick between these guys. Maybe that they don't want to happen, or something that could define how this race is going to go for the rest of the night. We know Susie on the road course of Chicago, which is completely different than a track in Indianapolis, He had a couple hiccups and mental mistakes. We've seen Ken Baum make mental mistakes, on some of the 1.5 miles. We'll see if these guys can both just have a solid night, no mistakes from them. And, really, when they don't both make mistakes, they usually have something like a lapped car or some type of caution mess up the great battle that they were having. And then hopefully we'll have just a good race between these two. But not saying that it's only limited to these two, Chris. I would love to see Kip Easley, Colin McCarthy, Carson Pittman, Dylan Hastings, any of these drivers right here come up here and try to dictate the pace of this race. This would be fun to see them mix it up here in Indianapolis. This is one of those tracks that you can for sure flex your legs a little bit and show some speed. If you're not going to show speed anywhere else, you can show speed here. As we'll see the green flag drop, you see the flag man getting to it. You see Bill Hells drop out of line right there. Great start to that run by Josh Hussey as he's going to drive it off into corner number 1. About 3/10 up. Is there too wide behind him? Colin McCarthy, Carson Pittman, too wide there for a moment. Looked like that 24 was going to drive down, but he's going to hold it. Now he's going to drive down Ken Baum Jr. Kip Easley, they are too wide. As, man, that was close. Ken Baum drove it right up to the bumper. So, speaking of bumper, Carson Pittman all over the rear of that 24. Big bump draft coming to the 24 down the back straightaway. But the run's going to stagnate out. We got 7 cars in a train right now. This is sketchy.
Yeah, this is where it's going to start playing out. Now everybody's not running that 2x2 all the way back. Everybody's starting to file in, single file. They're starting to go, all right, these guys were starting to run off and leave us. And, some of these drivers, they have spotters in their ears. They have people telling them, hey, you're fast or slow. Maybe that, during that caution, you have somebody sit there and tell you, hey, this is what's going on. This is how you need to race your race. So it looks like a lot of people are starting to get single files. It looks like Carson Pittman, that was Dylan Hastings, made a little bit of a wide thing. Lucas Nilge's into the wall. Let's see if he's going to keep it.
Save it, but man, that was a big hit. He's on the apron. He's going to lose every position.
Yeah, that was a big shot there to that
way to
Dylan
recover,
Hastings,
though.
or Lucas Nilge's, excuse me.
Way to recover. It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse,
but
yes.
You do not want damage in a track like this, Chris, at all.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be one of those nights of wrenching on that 3 machine ahead.
Yeah, we're going to see if he has any issues. We'll go back and check on him here in a little bit. As I see, Ryan Broderick looked like he came in a little late. He is currently at the tail end of the field, a lap down, but he did come in after the green flag had stopped. So he is currently a lap down, but good to have Ryan Broderick on the track. We're going to go back up here on board with Susie. Going to see him start to slowly pull away from Ken Baum. He's got about a 3/10 gap right now between Ken Baum, and then you see behind him, Kip Easley got about a 3/10 gap between them two. And then Kip Easley wishes he had a 3/10 gap between him and Colin McCarthy, because Colin McCarthy is breathing down that neck right now. He is trying to get around that 8 machine.
And it looks like Susie is just finding some type of rhythm. Him and that 2 machine starting to pull away a little bit here from this 8 and this 24. They've got their own little pack starting to form up here between Easley, McCarthy, Pittman, and that 27 of David Smill Jr., who I almost didn't know who that was for a second, Chris. Like you said, all those Nitro cars looking pretty slick tonight. I think they're all running a new livery here.
Yeah, I noticed in practice they were all running a different scheme.
Colin McCarthy is running a very similar livery. He runs that William Byron-esque livery with that number 24.
You are
still,
correct.
It looks a little bit different. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just tripping.
Yeah, it looks like Colin McCarthy to the outside, though.
Ooh.
Carson Pittman to the inside. This is not where he wants to be. It's going to allow that 27 of David Smill to get around Carson Pittman. So now you got the 24 of Kyler McCarthy and the 27 of David Smill bumper to bumper. They could start pushing their way to the front here soon. It's something that I'm expecting to see. We know these nitro setups are always wicked fast here every week. It's always one of those things where I kind of want to just go ahead and pull my wallet out and be like, hey guys,
Yeah,
give me
for
one of
real.
those setups, because man, whatever setups they're running, they're wicked fast.
If I was racing competitively still, Chris, I would. But, I don't even have the time or the want sometimes to even join a practice session sometimes. So once I get back into racing, though, which is soon, we're going to have to get some nitro setups, dude. I'm going to have to try them out. See what all the buzz is about.
Yeah, I know. I do know that Full Throttle was talking about doing an Xfinity series here before too long. I want to try to get my hand into that, just see how it race. They said no broadcasting, nothing like that. Just going to be a fun little race. Got to see what day it is. I can't remember what day they said it was, but I'm looking into that. That should be a lot of fun.
If we're doing a no broadcast race, man, you better sign me up. I'd be down to run with the boys. Nitro guys, pick me up.
As right now we're riding on board here with Kyler McCarthy. We see nobody's really changed position in the top 5 except for David Smill. He's up 3 positions right now from his original starting position. You see Carson Pittman has fallen back 1 position. Had a little bit of a hiccup going into turn 2, coming out of turn 2 onto the back straightaway. You saw that 27 of David Smill move to the inside, and he just kind of got hung out on that outside. And you see a little bit of a wiggle there from Carson Pittman. So maybe a little bit of a loose bug going on in that 4 machine.
Well, you know how easy it is to get loose here, Chris. It's one of those things. That rear end comes around way faster than you want it to here. It looks like Smill is starting to get a little bit of driving on that 27. As they're not really letting Susie and Kinbaum pull away like I thought they would. So doing a good job here this top 5 to maintain proximity to that lead. Still have him up there within a second from this David Smill on board that we're rolling on down the front straightaway. As we'll see him drive it big into the corner. He really drove it lower. It looked like 24 is trying to dime in that corner just a little bit, try to get a little bit exit speed compared to entry speed, as he is running wider. He's going to actually get tight on corner exit. Loose there. Almost went up and smacked the tail on the wall. And that should open up David Smill Jr. Yeah, to a big run. I saw somebody back there.
Yeah, Don DeGroot. Looks like Don DeGroot was into the wall there. I'm starting to learn these schemes on everybody. They don't change the schemes up too much, and when they do get changed up, they're not too different than what they're normally running. So I'm starting to learn. I can see him through the field. I saw that DeWalt machine get into the wall back there, so looks like he's just having a little bit of a headache in that 61 machine. Just it looks like he's able to keep it underneath him, and that's what we're talking about. Whoa, as you see everybody starting to dive down to the bottom now.
Trying to break that draft, as that 27 of David Smill Jr. did make that pass on that 24 machine, so they did swap positions while we were on board with that Don DeGroot machine. But that did help Susie, Kinbaum, and Kip Easley pull away a little bit, Chris. And Kip Easley, he's doing a great job right now. 3rd position still.
As we're riding on board here, we'll see that pass for that 4th position. It looks like that 24 machine just got into a position that he didn't want to be in, and that opened up the door for his teammate, and he was just able to drive on by him. And right now, it looks like maybe
looks like Pittman got by him as well.
I was gonna say maybe Kyler McCarthy having a little bit of a loose bug in his car right now. He's already lost 2 positions, so he's back to that 6th position right now. So I wonder if he's having a little bit of a mess up in his car. Not, his tires may be overheating. He's maybe been battling, trying to hold that position. He's eat up that right rear. We know those right rears, once they start going, it is hard to keep that car straight in the corner. And I know that sounds weird when you say, oh, straight in the corner. I mean, it's hard to keep the car straight because the rear end will want to come around on you so quick.
And it looks like that 2 of Kinbaum Jr. starting to pull back up to Josh Susie here, Chris.
Yeah, as I was watching the ticker, I saw he got it down to about 15/10 of a second. So I was like, all right, I'm going to pop back up on board and see what's going on. And Kinbaum, like you said, Josh, starting to really suck up to the back of that 81 of Susie. So we could see a move here for that lead just to get into that fresh air so he's not having to battle in that dirty air as much. But if I was that two machine, I'd just be cruising where I'm at right now. Susie is really setting the pace for the race. He's using all the fuel. If you're glad to be anybody, it's Kip Easley right now. He is just on the train of just easy living right now. He's saving the most fuel back there, not having to really do much of anything. Just kind of hold on to that two of Ken Baum and say, "Hey man, I'm in this train too."
He's got to do a lot, Chris. Actually, I mean, he's still got to stay competitive back there, and he's in 2 times the amount the dirty air that two machine is. So, yeah, he's saving fuel. Yeah, he's in the draft, but at the same time, it's still just as hard as him to hit the line, and sometimes a little bit harder to hit the line when you're that third car in line. You try to peek the nose out to find the line, and the second car in line does the same thing, or whatever it may be. Sometimes being that third car in line is not fun. Kip Easley so far doing an excellent job to hold on, but it does look like they are starting to pull a little bit of a gap on him. We might be speaking too soon here. He may lose this.
Yeah, as I saw him as he was coming out of turn one. He touched the wall there just a little bit, so might be eating his tires up trying to keep up with the that lead momentum. We know Susie is pretty much setting the fastest times of the session right now. Nobody
is there off of 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ken Baum is all over him.
He is right up against the back bumper. Well, is he gonna open it up to the inside? Is the real question. He's peeking, but nah, he's not gonna open it up. He's gonna be smart. Back off early. He's gonna roll the bottom of the corner here, get right up to the back bumper off exit. And I would expect a wider drive in here, but no, still gonna drive it to the bottom. And out of turn 2, down the back straightaway they go. So it's starting to crank up here between Susie and Ken Baum Jr. It seems like every week these guys are out to get each other, Chris. They have each other's number each week.
Yeah, and you know that's the thing that we're starting to notice here over these last few races is Ken Baum is starting to show that he's wanting that podium position. He's wanting to get up here and he's wanting to start winning these races. He's tired of getting that second and third position. So he's starting to show that Susie's got something to look out for. I mean, the nitro setups might be on point, but hey, Ken Baum's got a setup under that machine that nobody can really touch. As you're seeing right now, Kip Easley just slowly falling off. He's now got about a 3, almost 4/10 gap between him and Ken Baum. Whoa, it looks like Carson Pittman a little loose. Yeah.
Looks like Carson Pittman didn't get past David Smil. Didn't notice that on the ticker, but they are having a battle coming down the back straightaway. That's Dylan Hastings pulled up behind that Colin McCarthy machine. As coming into turn 3, the 27 going to be really on that low lane. This is going to allow that 24 to come to the inside of the 4. Oh, I thought they were going to collide there, quarter panel and a bumper. But as they go into turn 4 here, it does look like that David Smil Jr. machine going to hold that third place position. But coming down the front stretch, not sure what's going to happen here as Carson Pittman all over the place. Seems like he's starting to get a little bit of that loose bug in that race car.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are battling for this position. They're not wanting to kind of cruise in line. They're wanting to get out there and get around each other, and that's going to start setting up. These tires starting to be eaten up. We're only 20 laps into this. We've got 100 laps left. Whoa, as you see, David Smil getting a little loose coming out of turn 2. So that's what I'm talking about. It's probably this pushing. They get into that little bit of a straightaway, and then you go into that corner and you start getting pushed into turn 2, and you're like, whoa, 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 I don't like this. I don't like this. And a lot of drivers getting loose coming out of that corner.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to smack that wall here than you think it is in the tunnel sections. Coming out of turn 1, turn 3. Really easy to smack that wall. I mean, you think, oh, I've got the momentum, and you carry it so close to that wall. Really, anyways, you see as they're carrying it close to the wall, you think every time like, oh, it's gonna make it. Then one time you're just half a foot too much over, not even. Bam! You're pancaking the outside of the car. So it's pretty easy to do it at a track like Indianapolis, almost like a Darlington in a sense. You have to use the wall to be fast. So you kind of got to expect it here to get pancaked a little bit on that right side. As we're seeing a move here, is David Smill going to have the help from that 24 down the back straightaway this time, and he's going to allow him to clear that 4 Carson Pittman. And it looks like that 24 Colin McCarthy as well will clear him. So Carson Pittman going to lose 2 positions on lap 20 here down the back straightaway, as it is going to be the 2 Nitro teammates linking up to take over that 4th and 5th position.
Yeah, we're going to see if these drivers can hold off that forward David Smill. As I'm watching down the front straightaway, Ken Baum is still getting all over the back bumper of Susie, but he's not letting him, or he's not making any moves. He's not trying to be aggressive. He's just kind of cruising behind him. You know, like I said, this is pretty much what I figured was going to happen. You know, whoa, as I say that, Ken Baum getting loose. Yeah, that's
good recovery, though.
Yeah, good recovery, but that's going to open up the door there for Kip Easley just a little bit. Ken Baum's going to lose a little bit of momentum. As I say that, though, he might not. I forget these long straightaways. You can make up just a little bit of momentum loss down this straightaway, or down these straightaways. So you see, Ken Baum was able to keep up there with that 81 Isuzu, but looks like Kip Easley starting to have a little bit of an issue now, almost 1 second off of Ken Baum.
Ken Baum's starting to peak. I know he doesn't have the run. You have to have a massive run to be able to just make that run in turn 1 here, but he is recovering. It's a good recovery. I mean, it could have been a lot worse there. I mean, getting loose like that, Chris, you know how easy it is to just wreck the car. A great save, great hands-on save from Ken Baum Jr. He noticed it early, realized he was getting loose, locked it down, got on the gas at the right time, and look at that. Now he's setting himself up to possibly make a move here in the next couple laps. I don't know, Chris. He might just be hanging on to the 2nd place position. I don't know if Ken Baum is maybe sandbagging a little bit here, or if he really could just go up here and take this position. It seems like with some of these runs, he could just blow the doors off the 81. They parachute so much there towards the end of the run. So
looks like he's got a really good run here coming out of turn. I'm noticing that coming out of turn 4, it looks like Ken Baum has a better corner exit. I noticed that if you notice, Ken Baum is going a lot lower on the white line, below the white line, than Susie is. So Susie's having to get out of the gas just a little bit more. As you see, Susie getting a little tight there, going a little wide. I just noticed that Ken Baum is able to exit the corners just a little bit better. There's the move. There's the move. I was going to say, it looks like Susie got a little tight going out of the corner. That's going to open up the door for Ken Baum. So here at lap 23, going to 24, we might have a new leader. We do have a new leader right now, but going here into turn 4, anything could happen.
Now we're going to see, this is going to tell the story right here, Chris, of what is Susie's tires like. I mean, he's obviously been leading this race commandingly. It's not like he went out there and just took the wall down to lose his position. Just a little tight there on turn 2, and that allowed that 2 to get the big run. Now it's the question of, can Susie hold on, or is he going to lose a little bit of time here? And if, he loses that position to Kip Easley, falls back a little bit more, could it snowball on him? But it looks like Ken Baum a little loose. Really, we just need to not count our chickens before they hatch. Not sure what can happen here, Chris. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, like I said, you saw Ken Baum taking that lower line. He was basically getting both his left side tires below the white line, almost to the grass. That was allowing him to get out of the corner a lot faster than Susie. And then you saw Susie get a little tight and go up towards the wall. Is Susie getting a little loose?
Yeah, he drove it out of the corner.
Yeah, so this is where the tires are going to start coming into play. If you're that 8 machine, though, you're liking what you're seeing in front of you. You're seeing these guys get loose. You're seeing the lead change. You're seeing everything kind of, start to separate. They're not together, and they're not super pulling away from you. You're going to be able to still stay in that draft and keep up. So Kip Easley's not out of this yet. He could catch up here and start battling for that 2nd position with that 81 machine before too long. But it looks like Ken Baum has already found a whole new lane to drive in. He is starting to pull away from Susie. Probably Susie eating up that right front, right left, trying to the right left.
I just realized you said that.
The right front and right rear, trying to keep that car on the track, and now he's starting to pay for it. as Kip Easley is now under half a second to Josh Susie. So he's in that
I
draft
didn't,
range.
I didn't realize you said it until you started giggling at yourself, and then it was like, why is it, what was so fun? And then I realized, oh yeah, he just definitely didn't say what he meant to say. But Chris, I think what someone's meaning is Ken Baum is meaning this. He's saying this is my chance to go up here and pull away, get some time. And if these guys stay green, Chris, we know at Indianapolis, it's one of those tracks. If it stays green, this is going to be old school NASCAR style finish. We can only have a couple drivers on the lead lap here towards the end of this,
Yeah.
depending on how it goes between the back of the pack. So
Is right now I'm just kind of looking through the field as it
actually,
looks
I
like.
don't think we'd see a lot of drivers get lapped here.
As I was going to say, right now the closest battle for position would be around Dylan Hastings, Carson Pittman. This is going to be your closest bunch of cars. As you see up in front of him is Smill and McCarthy, and in front of them is about 4.5 seconds of Kip Easley. So they have kind of pulled away from the rest of the pack, and then your 8, 7, 8, 9, they're the ones that are kind of battling for position right now. As we go back here and see Carson Pittman getting passed by that 12 of Jimmy Barr. And Jimmy Barr looking like he's trying to make a move there on Dylan Hastings, but Dylan Hastings saying, hey man, you ain't getting around me.
It's unfortunate for Carson Pittman, Chris, starting in fifth position here tonight.
Oh, in the wall too.
He is falling back. He is having some big time trouble with that race car, so unfortunate for him. Such a great starting position, just negated by not great tire. What's the word I'm looking for?
Not a great tire strategy.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
And that's something that, not a lot of people realize, they're like, oh, it's just drive left, drive left, drive left. No, there's a lot more to racing these machines than in just turning the wheel left. You gotta take into consideration, your tire loss, how much of the rear end wants to slide around on. These cars are not designed to. I mean, they are designed to go left, but they don't want to go left all the time. They want to go straight, and when you get them to go left, they want to keep going left. They don't want to stay. You're turning. You're like, oh hey, look, I'm turning, and the next thing you know, you're like, hey, I'm looking at the inside wall because it just wants to keep turning. So that's something that you have to be on razor's edge all the time. You see a lot of drivers getting, loose, getting messed up. You saw Matthew Fitz having where he was sawing on the wheel earlier. Those are the moments that you have in these cars. And I want to say that, I was laughing about it whenever it happened, but in reality, like on this sim, those cars are the world's worst. If you get into a spin, it's about a time and a half to correct them. And if you're on a direct drive wheel, you're going to end up breaking your wrist trying to keep the car straight.
I like to believe that Fitz just had his hands on the wheel, but was just letting it go left and right, full lock to lock.
And so he was just holding on to it, but it was just crossing his arms,
throwing his arms around.
As we kind of go through the field right here. You see Ken Baum starting to slowly pull away with the lead. He's got about a 7/10 gap between him and Susie. Then you see Kip Easley starting to slowly fall back now. Josh Susie not losing as much time to Ken Baum as he was just a few seconds ago. So now he's able to make up just a little bit of time on Kip Easley. David Smill has got Kyler McCarthy right behind him, but they've kind of got their own little battle going on right now. You see William Brown just by himself in between everybody in that 6th position. And you see Jimmy Barr has moved himself up into that 7th position. Right behind him is Dylan Hastings in that number 1 machine in 8. And then you see right behind him Matthew Fitz in that 9th position. Robbie Bice moved himself up into that 10th position, up 10 positions. Then you see Carson Pittman has fallen back 6 positions from his starting position of 5th. Excuse me, I was looking at the ticker. You see Lucas Nilge's had a little bit of issue early on. He hit that inside wall. He lost a couple of positions, but he's still hanging on to that 12th position. So it's good to see Lucas Nealge still hanging on to that race car. Did have a big patty cake incident with the wall, but it looks like the car's still hanging on straight. As I say that, getting sideways, but he's able to keep it going there. You see Bill Hell's always taking an EOL at the beginning of the race, moved himself back up into that 13th position. You see Jaden Bingaman moved himself up 2 positions from his 16th starting position, up to 14th. Don DeGroot, saw him get into the wall just a couple of times. As I say that, you see Jaden Bingaman get into the wall. But that 61 machine got into the wall just a couple of times, but he's moved himself up 2 positions. Chad Engel has lost 5 positions from his starting position of 11th, moved himself back to that 16th position. You see Brody Green in that 91 and 17th. And right behind him is that 54 Jason Hand across the start-finish line right now. You see Chris Land, who was involved in that little bit of an incident with that 69 machine of Matthew Fitz. He's moved himself back into the 19th position, lost 4 positions. You see Shane Weldon tagging along at the end, and then Ryan Broderick, who started the race late, is a lap down right now. If we were to have a caution, I want to say that Ryan Broderick would get his lap back and he would be on the lead lap. Right now, you see Kip Easley has lost now 2 seconds to that Susie machine, excuse me. As it looks like Jaden Bingaman going ahead and electing to bring it down pit lane right now. So that 26 machine going ahead, deciding to bring it down pit lane, said, all right, man, I've had enough of these tires. I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and pull it down.
Yeah, he's wishing he was at a Buc-ee's right now so he could go in there and get him a soda, some sandwiches, some T-shirts, video game, whatever else you can get at Buc-ee's, literally anything.
I've never been there, so I wouldn't know.
Neither have I. Just know a lot of people like to go there.
I know. I've seen a lot of my friends,
Alabama, and everybody goes there to visit.
They build them all around where we don't live anymore, and we don't get to go there, so it's always fun.
I'm sure I'm going to catch flack for this, but I'm sure I'm not missing out on much.
Yeah.
Hashtag Circle K gang.
Hashtag buy a drink and get a candy for free.
I'm sure they got some absolute mega deals at Buc-ee's, dude. I'm lying. I want to go bad.
Yeah, I would do too. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm saying it's overplayed. I'm lying.
It's Ken
Don't
Baum.
Come find me. Don't come find me, Buc-ee's faithful.
Ken Baum has now almost got a second gap between him and Susie. And you see Susie has got a 2.5 second gap between him and Kip Easley. So Kip Easley starting to slowly fall off, but he's hanging on to that 3rd position. So it's not where he wants to be, but these last couple of weeks, and we know last week Kip Easley was involved in the first and I want to say only caution we had at Pocono. We might have had a second one. I'm not really sure, but I want to say he did have an incident with a driver. I can't remember who the driver was, but he was one of the drivers that did just unfortunate going into the tunnel turn. Somebody got loose and just ended up taking him out. So it's good to see Kip Easley in that 3rd position, but Dylan Hastings down pit lane now.
Sorry if I just got picked up on my headset went flying off my head randomly. I don't know how. As we'll see, a couple drivers here electing, like you said, Chris, to come down pit road. So that brings me to my next point of not being anywhere near the ability to tell you what pit stop cycles are going to be. I wonder when they're going to come down pit road. Everybody up here.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those things where it's kind of like we don't know what's going to happen.
Because even when I think I know, I don't know.
Yeah, like we can sit and say, oh yeah, no, they're about to come down pit lane, and they never do. But right now, Dylan Hastings, Jaden Bingaman, and Jason Hand are your drivers that have come down pit lane. Ryan Broderick still a lap down. We'll see how many laps down. I want to say he is 2 laps down, but we'll see how many as soon as the ticker gets by, because I don't have an actual way of seeing how many laps everybody is down. So everybody is a lap down. So currently Dylan Hastings is your lucky dog, but we'll see if anybody else has anything to say about it and come down pit lane here under green flag conditions. Then we're going to throw a wrench in the works even more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how everyone is gonna take this and how it's gonna make everything play out. We know the pit stop cycles can definitely change the dynamic of the field, but at a track like Indianapolis, it can change it a lot. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go, how people are going to take this, and if we're going to have like some crazy, wacky, different, pit strategies. We know how it is with sometimes with these nitro guys, especially Josh Susie. We know how wild he is on staying out on tires. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, but
As
you
we ride on
just
board here with Kip Easley, Chris, look how much time he's lost falling off
yeah.
since we saw him only a second back. So it definitely can tell that he is losing some speed, but Kip's still doing a good job holding on to that third position right now.
Yeah, he's got about a 4-second gap between him and David Smills, so that's where you want to be if you're if you're wanting to get a podium. I know this isn't where you want to be as far as everybody wants to be in the lead. That's always a given. You don't ever want to be in second or third place. But right now, if you're battling for position, this is where you want to be. You want to be in that third. You're battling for points. Because when it comes down to a championship, it doesn't always matter about how many times you win. It's about how consistent you are and how many times you can get up there in the front. Because I will say this, there have been a lot of championship races that I've been a part of, and I've never won a single race in my life. Well, in that league, or at least, maybe win one, maybe. But, that's the thing. If you can just stay consistent, you can be battling for a championship at the end of the season and never even, touch the podium. So it's just something that you got to be on top of.
Speaking on top of Chris, Susie looks like he is starting to get on top of his lines again. He is starting to pull back up a little bit of that gap to Ken Baum Jr. I'm wondering now if Ken Baum is starting to have an issue as you see him wash up wide there a little bit on corner exit. As we'll see Susie drive it into turn 4 here. This is where I'm interested to see now. Whoa, he's loose. I was about to say, this is where I'm interested to see now when these guys are going to come down pit road, because it seems like both of them are having issues handling on the race car as they cross the bricks for lap number 40 here. Man, these race cars look like they're starting to handle bad. And speaking of handling bad, Kip Easley, who looked like he was having some trouble down pit road, forfeiting that third position.
So Kip Easley going to go ahead in that 3 cheat number 8, pull it down pit lane, doing his best Cush Bush impersonation in that 3 cheat machine.
Oh, don't say that. He might speed.
No, okay, don't do it. Don't do
Don't
do a Kurt
say
Busch.
that.
Don't do a Kurt Busch impersonation.
You
Don't
mean
do
Kyle
that.
Busch?
Kyle Busch. Sorry.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Either Bush brothers still a goated Bush brother. Doesn't matter who you're talking about. They're both goats.
Yeah, but it's
Here
he
you
comes.
got something to say about that. As I said, here we go. Ken Baum Jr. Josh Susie down pit road. Watch this race off pit road as you see Colin McCarthy filing in down there. Back there, excuse me. I said down there. Back there. I feel like my southern influx came out big time there. So let's see David Smith Jr. driving it off into turn 1 here. He will assume the lead as Ken Baum Jr. and Josh has come down pit road. As well, we got a bunch of race cars down pit road here, Chris.
Yeah,
Jimmy Martin, Lucas Nilges.
Kyler McCarthy. Oh, we already said Kyler McCarthy. Excuse me.
All right, he's in pit road. We know this number 1 pit stop will give.
Oh,
he missed
it
too. Yeah, this is gonna easily give the pit stop to that 2 machine to Ken Baum Jr. You see the left sides are already up, right sides are just going down. So yeah, easy work for that 2 machine. He's gonna come out of pit road. He's gonna get that lead and a little bit of a gap there, Chris. Cut off some of that draft.
Yeah, so Ken Baum with a good pit stop there.
Now let's see where Kip Easley is going to file out because he's flying. Doesn't look like he's going to get the lead, but he might cut into this gap a little bit.
Yeah, David Smith, William Brown down pit lane right now. We're trying to see where he's going to equal out on the field. See, Susie's already out on track, so it's going to be pretty much exactly where they were on the track.
But Ken had a great stop compared to Susie. Two
Yeah.
second gap off of pit road, just 2 seconds gained on pit road, I should
Yes,
say.
Ken Baum came down pit lane. He left 15.43 seconds. Susie with a 16.58. So that goes to show you right there what 1 and 1/10 second can do for you.
Well, it was literally missing the pit stall by just a foot, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
You saw he had to throw it in reverse real quick and back up, and that was that 10th of a second right there. People think, oh, a 10th of a second, that's literally you blinking your eye. Like, it's nothing. It happens so quick, you don't even notice it. But in racing, Chris, every millisecond matters. A 10th of a second is almost like 30 minutes in a race. So it matters. Trust me, it matters.
Because when you're trying to battle for position and, you're like, oh, I've only got 3/10 to make up, it can take you about 10, 15 minutes just to make up a 10th. So it's one of those that you have to really just, put your head down as you see Ryan Broderick going ahead and getting at least one of those laps back from Matthew Fitz, who has not come down pit lane. Don DeGroot down pit lane right now. Shane Weldon also. But it looks like everybody has come down pit lane so far, minus Brody Green and Matthew Fitz. So whenever Fitz and Brody Green decide to come down pit lane, that should give Ken Baum the lead. As right now he's holding, as you see, Matthew Fitz.
Pit road down, yeah.
Oh,
Big
he's trying to get it locked down.
Should have been fine. I think it's 55, yeah, and he was at 52 when he hit the cone. And he doesn't need those tires anyway, so get him out of here.
So Brody Green going to assume the lead here at lap 44. So right now, like I said, that should give Ken Baum that lead. But look at that, Josh. That 1.5 gap, that's already hurting Susie.
3 seconds now.
Yeah, that's hurting Susie, because you want to know what? That kept him from getting a hold of that draft. He was not able to keep a hold of the draft of Ken Baum just because he was, he had to back up, and that 1 and 1/10 second, that's what it'll do to you on the track.
Now that he's not in the draft, Chris, has he gone into conserve mode thinking, okay, maybe Ken is out there running, I'm going to save a little bit of tire and try to come back later in the run. I mean, it could be one of those things. You got to play the hand you're dealt sometimes, so we'll just see how they manage it. These guys are pretty experienced, and not only experienced racing against each other. I think they're going to give it each other their best poker face, and it's going to be a good race. I think we've set ourselves up here for a good finale.
Yeah, but like I was saying, Josh, it's going to be one of those things that, is that time on, in pit lane going to affect Susie? He's already, 2 6/10 back from Ken Baum. So this is, he's going to have to really either dig and hope Ken Baum burns his equipment up and starts conserving. As I say that, the 81 up into the wall. So
well, my question now is, are they leaving Brody Green out to try to slow up Susie when he gets to him?
Yeah, because Ken Baum is 7 seconds off of him.
Never mind. There goes that out the window. Dang it!
we always
some drama, man.
we always trying to come up with a strategy, and
I know, I'm trying to create false drama. Oh, sorry if you heard that that bottle army falling over on my desk. But no, I'm always trying to create some drama, Chris, and I never get it. Sad face.
Yeah, so Brody Green down pit lane. It's going to let Ken Baum assume the lead. Josh Susie is now about 2 7/10 back from Ken Baum. You see Kip Easley back there, about 2.5 seconds back from Susie. So Susie is in a good position right here. He's not in a great position. He's about, like I said, about 2/8 back from that leader. So he's out of draft range. But he's also out of the range of Kip Easley to draft up to him. So like I said, he's not in the best position, but he's not in a bad position right now.
Not in the best, not in the worst.
Yeah. And Kip Easley, he's just got to try to make up as much ground as he can to Susie to try to make up as much time as he can before Kim Baum runs off and leaves him. We see Kip Easley has got about a 2 2/10 gap between him and Susie, so he's got a little bit of ground to make up before he can catch up to Susie. But like I said, I'm wondering how long. As I say that, Kip Easley just did set the fastest lap of the session. It was a 5:3.24, so 5:3.24 for that time by is the fastest time. So he is trying to put it down, trying to catch up as much as he can.
Yeah, that would be awesome to see Kip Easley get up there and win this race, wouldn't it, Chris? I mean, this driver has battled his way through all season. I mean, he's had some good finishes. But if Kip Easley was to get up there and mix it up for a win, man, I bet you there'd be a party at the Up and Smoke Discord tonight. Those guys would be having a great time, but we'll see how he's going to do here. He's got a big task ahead of him still, though, Chris. It's not like he's going out there and having to catch a bunch of, inexperienced 7-year-olds who just got to sit on their dad's sim rig for the first time. He's having to catch Susie and Ken Baum, and so far, he's doing a great job just, staying within striking distance of if someone was to mess up, still being up there to grab a position. So don't count him out. This race is definitely not over, and we're still one little caution away from this race being mixed back up and things getting all hell, getting close to let all hell break loose. I mean, anything like that could happen here, Chris, in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you kind of got to watch out for. A lot of drivers, maybe not, comfortable with what's going on. It looks like Susie just set the fastest lap of the session now, 5:3.13. So a quick lap there from Josh Susie. Haven't broke out into the 52 seconds yet. Won't really expect to see it here in these later runs. Whoa, is Susie getting all the way up against the wall, using all the real estate up that he can. As I say, you probably won't see drivers get down into that 52-second mark. Not a lot of time here. Not a lot of rubber down on the track early on. Maybe if we were to go the full run and the track was to cool down a little bit, you would see that. But I see it not dropping below that.
Ooh, look at this between Kyle McCarthy and Dylan Hastings. We were just kind of rolling through the field there trying to find something. We did find this. These guys are battling it out here for this 4th and 5th position, as you see Kyle McCarthy look like he's going to get the advantage there and make that pass on Dylan Hastings. Man, this is one of those tracks that a lot of mental fortitude has to be given. It is one of those tracks that you got to focus on every single corner, every single lap, man. And as they're ticking away here, you're just thinking, can this be over? My arms are burning. I've been driving down this straightaway. I don't even know if we're on the front or back stretch now. I'm just kidding. You can tell the difference between the front and back stretch. But, man, I remember when I was a kid playing on the old NASCAR games, this track was always so cool to me because the way the catch fence look on this track compared to the other tracks in the game, it just looked so cool. I always used to think this track was fake when I was a kid. And then when I grew up, I realized it's just Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But it just shows how, to a childlike brain, that this track, man, if I thought it was fake as a kid, you got to imagine what some other people could think. And I think this track is fake, too. It's just such a spectacle to see, and that's what makes this track so special is it's so big, it's so long. I mean, the corners here are just, they're not normal. They're not normal. I mean, this track has been around since the early 1900s. I mean, it was originally brick all the way around. I mean, it's been repaved, I think, like a total of like 10 times. When they repaved it the last time, they cut all the way down to the original pavement or the brick, and it was so cool seeing all the, the layers of pavement. So Indianapolis is one of those tracks. You win here, people say, oh, I love winning at Daytona. Man, give me winning at Indianapolis all day. I understand the spectacle of Daytona, the prize pool of Daytona. To win at a track like Indianapolis, man, I want it all day. I want to be up there drinking the milk, man, after this race, let me tell you.
Yeah, Ken Baum almost setting the same lap time there as Susie that last time by 53.16. Susie with a 53.13. So now Ken Baum's got this little bit of a draft there from, who is that? Is that the 98 of Shane Weldon? That is the 98 of Shane Weldon. Got a little bit of help to pull him out just a little bit further. You see, Susie has now dropped back about 4 seconds behind Ken Baum. You see, coming out of turn 2 right now is that Sushi Machine, excuse me. Then behind him is Kip Easley. So Kip Easley is still not letting Susie get away. Susie has only got a 2-second gap between Kip Easley. And so this is where Kip Easley is trying his best to maintain as much space as he can. As we're coming up here on the halfway point, this is where all the strategies could start coming into play.
Yeah, we are going to start seeing some strategies work their way into this race here in just a moment, Chris. I mean, it is getting to that almost that halfway point, so you're going to start seeing drivers really have to work on not only finding just the fundamentals of keeping the race car going straight, but also at the same time keeping the tires under them, and then it also falls under these crazy underlining factors of keeping your speed up, keeping your fuel consumption down enough to where you're not, burning the gas out of it, but also keeping enough pace to where you're not losing too much time to the car behind. I mean, so you see that Ken Baum a little bit loose there on the entry of turn 3, but it's one of those things, Chris, at a track like Indianapolis, just so annoying to have to maintain your equipment. I mean, goodness gracious, this is one of those tracks that it feels like no matter how much you're trying your darndest to maintain, it's just going to want to fall off. There's really, you're saving, but you're just, you're putting duct tape over, a massive hole in a wall. I mean, eventually, with water pressure coming through it, eventually the water is going to bust through. You're just prolonging the inevitable at this point. I mean, yeah, the tires are going to fall off, but you've got to try your best to, and like I said, to keep pace, but to also keep pace and not mess stuff up. Racing here in Indianapolis can be quite annoying, especially in these later stages.
Yeah, and Josh, look at this.
I'll say Kip Easley is starting to catch that 81 of Josh Susie.
I was going to say he's now got it under 2 seconds. So Easley could be starting to catch Josh Susie here before too long. As I say that now, he's getting it almost down to about 2 seconds. So as we were saying it, Kip Easley just having a little bit of a hiccup in that machine.
Yeah, he does have it under 2 seconds, so we'll see if Easley is going to be able to easily get up there and ease his way into that second spot. Man, that was definitely some great wordplay there for me. Took a lot of thought, as we'll see him get a good run out of turn 2. Coming out of the backstretch. We're right on board here with him through the rest of this half lap. See how he's going to manage turn 3 here. Whoa, big loose. Going to save it. You know what they say, loose is fast here, Chris. And so drive it off end of 4. Didn't lose any time on that gap. Didn't gain any time either coming out of 4, so still at that 1.9 second interval. We'll have to see how he's going to manage, though, coming off here into turn 1. Is that 3G number 8 bow tie Chevy Camaro going to drive it off into that turn 1 section? And Josh Susie, Chris, he's having a little bit more trouble here than I thought he was in the second half of this race.
Yeah, it looks like Ken Baum has just kind of like packed up, said, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just finish this race for y'all. He's got almost a as I say it, as we're speaking, 4.5 second gap now between Ken Baum and Josh Susie. But I know Josh Susie is wanting that 4.5 second gap between him and Kip Easley. Because now Kip Easley has dropped back to about 2 seconds. I see Kip get down to, whoa, caution's out. Looks like Jaden Bingaman.
I didn't notice that. I had my space bar pressed. I didn't even see the caution flags. Oh, yeah, he is beached there, Chris. As I said, it just takes one caution, Chris, to completely switch this thing up. This is going to be intriguing to see what happens here.
Oh, just coming out of the corner, getting it loose,
Whoa.
locking her down.
That is a weird way to wreck here, man.
Oh, good save,
very
though.
lucky not to collect that inside Onco barrier. Yeah, very good save, Chris.
You see, just gets loose coming out of the corner.
Man, I bet his heart dropped so hard. Because that's not your average just getting around. That is like, that's weird. And that shows you. You were talking about that thin line you ride, Chris, on these race cars. That right there shows you. 1 second you're comfortable, the next you're just around. What are you supposed to do about it? Hey, but at least Bucky was having a great time. That's all that matters.
Well, you see Jaden Bingaman going to walk away. No harm, no foul. Just, a little bit of a, oh, man, I went around.
There might be something foul in the inside of that race car after that.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'd probably need a change of underwear after it.
I say, good thing he wore his brown suit today, But, man, that is that's a weird wreck. I've seen people wreck like down there in IndyCar and stuff, but usually that's after you collect the outside wall, Chris. I mean, that was very, very odd the way he wrecked. I mean, that was literally within the flip of a light switch. He was gripped up, and the next thing you know, he was just wrecking. So, very, very, very tough there. But still, like you said, great hands-on save there from the 26 of Jaden Bingaman. That could have went sour for him.
Yeah, so the second caution of the night brought out by Jaden Bingaman, just a self spin there coming out of turn one, excuse me. Just saw him spin that rear tire up, probably a lot of digging, trying to stay, competitive, like I said, not a lot of people realize that when it comes down to driving these things, to stay competitive, you have to drive on that edge. And if you don't drive on that edge, you're not going to be fast. And, if you drive on the edge, you see what happens right there. Just one slight movement, come out of the corner the wrong way, get on the grass, the wrong position, it just sends the rear end around, and the next thing you know, you're along for the ride. But good save there from Jaden. We know he's a driver that when he does go around, he's able to mostly save it. He tries to stay off track, try to keep from collecting everybody else. So it's good to see Jaden keep it under control, though. Not not collect anybody else or collect the inside wall and end his race prematurely.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't have been able to probably collect that there. That would have been one of those. As soon as I started wrecking and locking it down, I'd probably pancake the inside wall somehow or something. So, great save there from the 26. I thought that's who that was at first. That's Robbie Bice. Or then Bill Hills, man. I saw both their cars and thought it was the 26. I was so confused.
Yeah, it looks like Shane Weldon also deciding to come down pit lane again. Whoop. Well, you'd already passed that commitment cone.
He dropped back out on the track. I wasn't looking. Oh, yep. Well.
We'll have to see what happens with that 98. If he does come down pit lane, then we'll know he has to serve a black flag. As you see, looks like the one, Dylan Hastings, trying to figure out where he's got to get. He's got to get around that 69 Matthew Fitz. I see somebody back there blinking around. I want to say that is the 9 of William Brown. So under caution, we just hit the halfway mark this time by. So everybody's going to get racked back up, and like Josh said, this is going to make everything a lot more interesting.
as the pace lights are off and they are rolling through the second half of the track. We should be coming out of turn 4 here. Are we out of turn 3? I'm lost, man. Goodness gracious. Did you see the last second warm-ups there? But since we have the field stacked up, we are going to take this time. If we do go to caution, we will hop back to you really quick. But we are going to take this moment here to step away and go to a full throttle. Crank it up, so get those volumes turned up. We are going to see some beautiful sights and some awesome sounds here as these full throttle race cars are about to go green. So we will step away and enjoy this Crank It Up, brought to you by Full Throttle. Yeah, and that is a big pile up. Jaden Bingaman, who just got through it, I think. Yeah, well, he just got collected in it. Yeah, I was gonna say, do we have a money shift? That's the 35 at Chad Angle.
Yeah, so the 35 of Chad Angle, we see Rod on board here with him. And then you see there down into first, it's going to send everybody into the tailspin that's going on there now. A lot of drivers involved in that. So we'll back it up and see if we can see who all was collected in it. You see the 61 of Don DeGroot growing around there. You see the 4 of Carson Pittman, the 3 of Lucas Nilge's also involved in it. I see the 28 of Robbie Bice right there get collected in it. You see right behind them Jaden Bingaman in that 26 machine. Everybody just trying to get her woed up there. So a lot of cars involved in that. Oh, you see the 3 of Lucas Nilge's. He's got definitely something wrong in the front end of that car. So a lot of drivers coming down pit lane now. Unfortunate there. So to see who gets to stay and who has got a meatball. As I'm seeing right now, that 3 of Lucas Nilge's is definitely limping back there to pit lane. See Don DeGroot on his way back out. 5 of Ryan Broderick just got back on the lead lap. Was involved in that little bit of an incident. I mean, just got back on the lead lap. After starting the race there late. See Carson Pittman down pit lane right now. We're just going to stay on here and see if any drivers decide to come out before they get to the start-finish line, but it doesn't look like anybody is going to come out just yet. We'll see as they come around here into turn 4, but we'll try this again next time by. We'll go to a full throttle, crank it up. Because it seems like every time me and Josh try to step away for just a second, just go grab something to drink or something like that, always happens. Always happens. But it's okay. see Chad Engel, though, having a money shift issue. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had it happen to me. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things that I understand how it feels whenever you're shifting, and then the next thing you know, you're in first. Now, does the question now is, does Chad have a sequential? Like, does he have paddle shifters, or is he using an H shifter? Now, I do know some drivers do not have paddle shifters on their wheels, so they do have to use the H shifter. So that's a question. Is he just using an H shifter? Because the way that looks, I wouldn't think, if you're using a sequential gearbox now, you could, if you're using, like a dog box, you could, hit it up, I guess the wrong way, thinking that you're using a stick shift and pull it down into, like first, second, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to push it up into third, and then you push it, up, and it actually pushes it down into second. I don't know. Could be something like that. But we did see it on his dashboard go from first, second, back to first. So that is what happened with that 35 machine, and he did collect up that 28.3. It looks like Lucas Nilges may be back out on the track, so still looks like there is a lot of front end damage there in that car. So we'll have to keep an eye on that 3 machine. But here, as the pace car takes that left-hand turn again, we're going to go ahead and step away for just a moment. As I say that, they're going through turn 3 again. It's coming into turn 4. As the pace car takes that left-hand turn, we're going to go ahead and get those volumes ready. Get those sideways screens going. We're going to take you to a full throttle, crank it up.
And we welcome you back here live at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we still see Ken Baum Jr. in the lead. But look at that, Chris. A pack of race cars have held their way after this restart, and they are still holding up there. We got Kip Easley, William Brown, Colin McCarthy, and David Smith Jr. all in shot right there. As if just one hiccup here from Ken Baum or Josh Sushi could open up the floodgates for these drivers behind to come through and really open up this race in the lead, as we are at 40 to go this time.
Yeah, as
not
we're
40, 50. 40,
as we're seeing Ken
50,
Baum.
I don't know. Sorry, Chris, continue.
As you're seeing Ken Baum really trying to make as much space up as he can between him and Susie. Susie is trying his best to make up as much space as he can. But Kip Easley's not letting him get away either, Josh. You know, a lot of drivers are, you see Ken Baum starting to try to break that draft coming down the back straightaway and the front straightaway. You see him going all the way down there to that bottom lane, just trying his best to keep everybody behind him off of him. You know, it's basically like, you know, when you stick your hand out the window and then you stick your other hand out the window and you cut that air off in between it. That's basically what he's trying to do. He's cut that draft off and, you know, keep those drivers behind him from being able to use that to their advantage. But it's really not working. You see them all fanning out there down with him.
Yeah, excited to see how Susie is going to react here, Chris. Seeing as he did fall off in that green flag run and fall off a pretty big bit. It's not like he was just a few tenths back. He was a couple seconds off, so you know he's had the caution period. He's able to come back. We'll see if Susie is going to be able to maintain what he had earlier, or if this is just what he's going to have to deal with here tonight. But it looks like he is on a big spirited run right now. 2 tenths back from that to a Ken Baum Jr., but like he said, just a small hiccup, Chris, and Kip Easley or somebody getting by him could really spell disaster here for Susie's night. He's got to be on the hammer here and not let any mistakes happen if he wants to go and try to recontrol this race lead. Because we know how it is with Susie. Sometimes a little bit of adversity pops up and he may have a mental mistake pop up. So we've seen it in the past. Hopefully it doesn't grab him tonight. So far, so good from that 81 machine. But expecting to see him try to get up here and make this pass to the lead here soon if he wants to get up here and try to build this distance between that 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot.
Yeah, when Josh, we have 56 laps to go, just so you know. But that's going to be, you know, like you were saying, that's going to be what we're going to see is, you know, is Susie going to, you know, be able to keep that momentum up and keep up with Ken Baum, or is Ken Baum going to be able to start to open up that gap here a little more? Because like you said, all it's going to take is a mess up for Kip Easley. William Brown, we saw him getting a little loose coming out of corner exit there, a couple of corners. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, this wreck, you know, with Chad Engel has really thrown a wrench in a lot of stuff. We saw Lucas Nilges, he tried to come back out from pit lane with that damage that he had, but it did not look like he was able to keep it underneath him. I want to say he is still out on the track right now, but a lot of laps down. Did take a lot of front end damage to that 3 machine. I want to say Shane Weldon also came down pit lane, took a lot of damage repair. Jason Hand, Robbie Bice also as well. Ken Baum's starting to slowly put a little bit of gap between him and Susie now. Now a half a second.
Ooh, Susie is starting to look like he's getting loose on exit already, man.
Because I love watching those cars fan out down the front straightaway and the back straightaway.
I know, right?
I just love the way that looks. That camera shot, you know, you see them all go down and move back up. It's like watching some kind of choreographed movement or something.
I know, it's all crazy how they all go back and then all just file back in perfectly. You know, it's fun to watch it at Pocono too, Chris. It's one of my favorite places to watch it. Is easily, man, he's got some pressure on Susie here, Chris.
Yeah, we're seeing Kip Easley run a little bit of a shallower line than Susie. We're seeing Susie wash up to the middle top lane on exit, so he might be having to get out of the gas just a little sooner. That's allowing Kip Easley to now get up all over that back bumper. Kip Easley now 1/10 off of that 81.
I always giggle when I see people do that because, you know, I'm the person that just won't move down the track. I just say, I'm not worried about it, bro. I ain't getting that a tenth a second of draft time more. I'm just going to stay here. I know it does matter sometimes. But
Oh,
to me,
Kip Easley into the wall.
Oh, yeah, big in the wall. And that's going to allow Colin McCarthy and William Brown to just fly by him. They were linked up big time coming out of 02.
Oh, unfortunate there for that 8 machine. I saw him getting tightened up out of corner exit. He was all over the back bumper of that 81 machine, but he's not out of it yet. Maybe just,
He's back on the attack.
Yeah, maybe just played patty cake with it there. You know, just kind of crinkled up those fender wells just a little bit. But see, he's already on the attack. I thought he was going to go around there, that Colin McCarthy machine there just for a second.
As you're still sitting here rolling with your leader, Ken Baum, who is just managing. He's doing a great job here ever since he's taken the lead a while back, just holding on, taking them off. I mean, that's really what you just got to do, but you can't count that Nitro driver in the 81 machine behind him out. I mean, really, you can't count any of the Nitro drivers out, but you can't count Josh Susie out for sure. I mean, might have had a couple mental mistakes here, or, you know, getting tight when he shouldn't have, or just being offline a little bit, but it's not over. We did see an earlier caution. I mean, anything can happen. We could have another caution pop out here and mix this race up even more. But right now, you know, I'm sitting and giving him all the praise. But Ken Baum Jr. is still pulling away for us now, extending that gap from 0.8 to a second, so 0.2 that lap.
Yeah, and this is going to be something that we're going to have to watch, you know. It looks like Susie is starting to have a little bit of an issue underneath this machine. And he's not liking what he's got going on. You see William Brown now starting to slowly creep back, or creep up into the picture, up 9 positions. Is that 9 machine into that 3rd position?
Well, you know, last week, Chris, William Brown with the crazy pit strategy almost snuck himself a race win if there was another lap or half a lap. I mean, we could
You are correct.
So, you know, he's building off that momentum, and it seems like that momentum is working good right now. He's worked his way through the field, started this race in that 12th position, and now worked himself all the way up into 3rd here, and he's made a great run here through this second half of the field.
Yeah, you know, and like we were saying, you know, you build off of that success, and that's something that we're seeing here in that William Brown camp. You know, Team Sparkle Unicorn, they've got a couple of good setups going on. It seems like Matthew Fitz has moved himself back up into that 7th position. So, you know, we saw him have that early on incident, brought out the first caution of the race, but he's got himself back up into that top 10. So, good to see Matthew Fitz still on his way, trying to get up there into that top 5. We're right back up here on board with Ken Baum. He's now got a 1 and 3 second gap over Josh Susie. And then Susie wishes, like I said earlier, wishes he had a 1 and 3 second gap on William Brown. But William Brown is starting to slowly creep up into that rear view mirror. And Josh, look at that. Kip Easley able to get around Kyler McCarthy. Has now moved himself back up into that 4th position. And he's starting to knock on the door of William Brown.
Yeah, he is indeed starting to knock on that door of William Brown, Chris. Kip Easley's working his way back through the adversity, trying to get himself back up in there, but He's got Kyle McCarthy and David Smith Jr., Chris, the two Nitro drivers who were linked up earlier. They're linked back up again. We'll see if they're going to be able to make some success out of it this time if they are able to link up more. But Chris, William Brown is catching Josh Susie.
Yeah, I was just, while you were sitting here talking, I was watching the ticker, and right now, your second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth position is all within a second of each other. All within half a second of each other, pretty much. So, we could be having a battle for this podium position here before the end of the night if this race keeps going the way it's going.
I mean, William Brown is taking it off now. 3/10 back, Chris. He's right there in striking distance.
Yeah, 2/10 just out of since the last time we spoke about it. Well, big drive out there for him. You see William Brown having to get off of the gas just a little bit. That's going to open the door back up there for Susie. But down the back straightaway, he's going to make up that little bit of time that he lost just in that draft. As I say that, it looks like he lost just another half of a second going there into turn 3. So this is where, it gets confusing. You're like, oh, yeah, no, these turns all look the same. I mean, whoa, William Brown into the wall.
Yeah, but he caught it right at the end of the safety barrier, so maybe not as big of an impact.
But that's going to open up the door there for Kip Easley. He's now in striking distance to try to get back that third position.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to work it back up there, Chris. Kip Easley, through his own adversity, is working his way back through the field, man. So you got to think, if he's still got strength right now, let's just hope he can hold the right sides on, because he's got to keep digging here if he's going to want to try to get up here. But see how William Brown and them are taking a little bit wider of an entry. He's taking that shallower entry now in the corner. But it seems like ever since William got into the wall a little bit, Chris, there on corner exit, his run has stalled out as well too.
Yeah, wondering if a lot of these drivers are basing what's going on in front of them. They see something not working. They're like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to kind of ride behind these guys and see what's going on. That right now, if I was in that 8 machine, and this is just me, if I'm in that 8 machine, that 9 machine, and I'm watching these guys up in front of me, like Ken Baum, I mean, he's already 2 seconds out. He's almost 3 seconds, he's 2 2/10 off from Susie. If you're in that 8-9 car right now, you are trying to just focus on getting yourself onto that podium. That is, you're noticing that Ken Baum is a lot faster than you are. You're not able to keep up with him, but you're able to keep up with that second place driver. That's where you start trying to say, all right, you know what? I'm just going to try to get myself up into that second place position and try to get as many points as I can. Whoa, is William Brown to the wall.
Yeah, Kip Easley was tight on that quarter panel coming off on the corner number 4. And now in the front straightaway, he's going to open himself up to a possible position change here, and he will go into that third position. William Brown right there on the back bumper. We'll see if that 4th place position Team Sparkle Unicorn number 9 machine has anything to say about this. But right now, 8 will jump back in front of 9 and get some type of number order here in this grid, as we'll see him move up into third position and secure that final podium spot. For the moment, though, 25 laps to go, though. Excuse me, 35 laps to go, though. Goodness gracious, I cannot count, man.
35 laps to go, and that's going to be, what these drivers are thinking. Now it's going to be, do you have one more pit stop under you? Do you have to come down under a green flag stop and hopefully, not do what Susie did earlier and miss your pit stall and have to back up? That's going to be, that's going to be the key thing here is trying to hit all of your marks. As we see Kip Easley, it looks like battling here with William Brown, starting to lose maybe a half a second or a tenth of a second to that Sushi machine. But as I say that, man, looks like William Brown having a little bit of issues getting into the wall just a couple of times back there. That's going to slow him down a little bit going down that back straightaway.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. Definitely don't want to be hitting the wall while you're going straight.
Yeah, hopefully he wasn't looking for his vape like I was that one time.
I don't even want to talk about that. I'm
Yeah,
still mad at you over that.
yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
As we are at lap number 87, Ken Baum Jr. still your leader. 3 seconds virtually is the gap here between him and Josh Susie, as Susie is becoming under attack from William Brown and Kip Easley these past few laps, but Easley now will be the one trying to mount the charge to come up there and take that second position. But we'll see what Susie is going to do here as we are getting into these closing stages of the race. Should we pit swap one more time or no?
I'm gonna say that the way they pit earlier, it was only about 30 laps. They came down at lap 58. I would say one more pit stop before the end of this. Oh, Ken Baum coming into lap traffic. See the 53 there, Bill Hells. Gonna go a lap down here. Ooh, looks like Ken Baum getting a little loose up against that wall. You're going to see there the 4 of Carson Pittman. Unfortunate night there for the 4 of Carson Pittman. Started off in the top 5, and then, you know, you see that wreck early on. And was not having the best of night as far as his car was going, and then you saw him involved in that wreck there. The last caution, as I'm speaking, you see him get into the wall there. Just not having the best of nights as that 4 of Carson Pittman. Whoa, as you see Bill Hells getting into the wall. I want to say Ken Baum also got into the wall there maybe a little bit.
Yeah, with this lap traffic coming up, Chris, where if you are in the 81 machine, you're hoping, man, y'all give the 2 machine as much trouble as you can and let me get by easily, but usually it goes the other way. They let the leader by, and then second, third, fourth on back, it's like, hey, you're going to have to work for this, buddy. So we'll have to see how it's going to manage here coming up into these lap cars, but we're coming up here to 30 to go in just a moment. So I just really don't know how this is going to go here for the rest of this race. Not sure what to expect here from that Susie Easley and William Brown machine.
Birdie Green down pit lane.
And if they do pit, Susie is going to definitely try to have to do that undercut. And that's the only way he's going to be able to get this time made back up. He's going to have to pit earlier than what he wanted to originally.
Yeah, you see Carson
like
Pittman.
Carson Pittman coming down pit road as well, yeah.
It's like Carson Pittman down pit lane. Seeing Susie getting a little loose coming out of turn 1 there. Wondering if these tires are starting to fall apart. You see Susie Ken Baum able to get around Bill. I'm sorry, I was watching the ticker and not paying attention to what I was doing. I was just watching timings, just trying to see if there was any battles going on track. So right now, I don't see, as I say that, Kip Easley down pit lane.
Kip Easley down pit road.
This might be an undercut.
Yeah, this could undercut Susie depending on how his stops are going to go here.
See Dylan Hastings all down.
We did see Susie have trouble last time he stopped, so. But we still got to not forget about Ken Baum Jr. as well, Chris. I mean, he could make a mistake on pit road, too. Anything could happen. This last pit stop is going to be a detriment to how the ending position or the finishing position of this race is going to go for you. So we're going to have to see some good stops here. I thought I just saw it say that. I don't know why I thought I saw somebody disconnect, but I didn't. As we'll see him driving down into turn 4. Will Ken Baum pull the trigger this time? I don't think he's going to. I don't think Ken Baum will. I'm excited to see what Susie is going to do here. William Brown down pit road. We do know Kip Easley did pit a little early last time, too, about 3 laps earlier than the rest of the guys in that first pit stop. We'll have to see about this time, especially with Susie, like I said, being off his quote-unquote scheduled stop, I'm assuming now, with him being in the position he would assume, I would think he didn't think he was going to be in. I don't know. These guys are all smart. I'm sure he put it into that big old brain calculator, and it started working out all the fuel mileage and stuff. He's got it worked out, I'm sure, but man, you got to execute on pit road here. And we know making the mistake earlier, it could be living a little bit rent free in the head as he drives it right up against the wall to get all he could going into the corner entry. As you'll see that too at Ken Baum Jr. though. Excited to see when he's going to pull it down pit road. As you'll see that 12 of Jimmy Barr make that pass for that 5th position. He will pass Matthew Fitz for that position. As it doesn't look like anybody in our top 10 going to come down pit road this time besides, well, William Brown did come down pit road last time, so more than our top 9.
Yeah, so
as he is just taking away the time now, Chris, isn't he? 3.6 seconds up.
Yeah, between him and Susie, yeah. And Susie's got this lap traffic in front of him. This is going to be, it's going to determine on how quickly Susie can get around these guys. Because right now, Susie's got his teammates behind him, but they are 3 seconds behind him. Whoa, Susie to the inside. He's turning to Bill Hales. Let's see if he can keep it straight. Oh.
Yeah, I would have thought there as well that Bill Hales would have went and maybe let him by, but you saw apparently Susie was down to wreck somebody to get by, so not going to lose a lot of time, but I still think he lost about a second there.
Yeah, he was definitely had to get out of the gas there, so we'll go back and see what happened here. So it looks like going down in the corner, maybe Bill just wasn't expecting Susie to take it. That's the only thing I could think.
Yeah, and Susie's in a hurry, man. He wants to get going, so I know he probably wouldn't just go out there and flat out wreck anybody like that, but in his head, it's like, bro, I've got to go. Get out of my way. Let me go. Let me by. Don't try to hold me up, and if you do, I'm going to... No! Chris Ken Baum Jr. is down pit road. I just noticed.
Ken Baum down pit lane. David Smill as well, right behind him.
Just to iterate on that, don't think it was malicious from Susie, but in the predicament we're in right now, it's almost like, you know, swinging for the fences when you got bases loaded and it's a 3-2 count and it's a fastball right down the middle. You're trying to be the hero. I mean, you got to do what you got to do in the situation, and, you know, you got to play the deck of cards that you're given at that given hand. So for Susie, it was just let me get him out of my way and get going if you're not going to get out of my way for me. So don't think it was malicious, more or less just feels like that's what had to be done to him, you know?
Yeah, and we'll see if that hurts that race car or not. He might have to take a couple of seconds of damage repair there, not, you know, get out there and tell him to beat it with the hammer.
He's still not coming down pit road.
No, and we know this is what Susie does. As Josh, as I say that, Kip Easley, fastest lap of the session, 52.70.
Fast lap, 52.699 to be exact. We're going to give him his 1/1000th of a second, Chris.
All
that's
right.
Pretty fast around here.
Yeah, no, I was saying, I was wondering if we were going to see these drivers break down into the 52 seconds. And we just saw Kip Easley break down into the 52 seconds. A lot of rubber down on the track now. These drivers are, you know, the track's starting to cool off a little bit. We're able to get a little more grip out here on the track.
And you get the draft here to help sometimes with these lap times. So you're going to see a little bit faster lap times in race trim sometimes.
Okay, so Josh, I just want to point out, look up in front of Kip Easley.
Whoa.
Look who is only 10 seconds back from him. Or, sorry, excuse me, a minute back, or a second back from him.
When did that happen? I swore it said that he was a... I'm confused now.
Well, Kip Easley is in striking distance of Ken Baum, and everybody in front of Ken Baum has not come down pit lane. Don DeGroot, who is in 4th position, last time down was lap 62. Jaden Bingaman, last time down, lap 62. Colin McCarthy and Susie, last time down, lap 58. So these drivers have got to come down pit lane. This could open the door, though, for Ken Baum and Kip Easley.
I'm wondering when Susie's going to come down.
As I just realized my headset was muted, I was going to say Dylan Hastings with the fastest lap that time by Josh, 52.66. I don't know how long that was muted. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm just sitting there talking to myself at that point.
I think at all this point of the race, everyone's brains have lost about 10% operating power. We're all a little bit foggy here. As if you're Susie, you're just
hoping for a caution at this point. Kyler McCarthy down pit lane.
I mean, let's see. I don't know. I'm just not even going to question, comment, try to even think about what Susie's going to do, man. This guy blows my mind every time when it comes to, thinking I know something that he's going to do. So we'll just have to see. I think he's got something cooked up his sleeve. It's just, will he be able to execute is the real question.
Yeah, Ken Baum with the Ken Baum with the fastest lap, Josh, 52.55. So Ken Baum really turning it up now.
Susie down pit road. I knew
Susie
he was
down pit lane. All right, so Ken Baum is...
He's not going to keep the lead. Right? Yeah, no, there's no way.
So Susie has not hit his pit stall just yet.
Yeah, he's not holding on to that lead. Takes 15 seconds to pit stop. He just got into the stall and he's 10-second gap. Yeah, there comes Ken Baum.
With Kip Easley and William Brown in tow. So Jaden Bingaman right now and Chris Lynn, the only two drivers in the top 5 that have not come down pit lane. Right now, your 26 machine coming down pit lane as I speak about it.
I was about to say, you can check Jaden Bingham off that list because he is indeed coming down pit road. As Ken Baum will be your leader once again here tonight, Chris. It'll be Ken Baum, Kip Easley, and William Brown, your top 3, when they all come past that Jaden Bingham machine down pit road. Not the top 3 I was expecting at this point of the race, I won't lie, Chris.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to lie. Like, before the race, Josh, we even looked at the qualifying right before it ended. I was like, man, there's a lot of names up here in the top that we normally don't talk about. And it's good to see. As you see, Ken Baum now has got about a 2 and a 2/10 gap between that second place of Kip Easley, and then Kip Easley has got about a 2 and 3/10 gap between him and William Brown. So right now, these drivers are just trying to maintain as much distance as they can. But let's not count out Susie just yet. I mean, he might have a 13-second gap between him and Ken Baum. But anything can happen here. This man can turn on some kind of mode 7, and then the next thing you know, he's aliening himself up into the front.
I thought you were going to say he's going to turn on grip packs or something. I was like, dang, Chris, you're just calling him out, aren't you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Nah, I'm just messing around. Would be pretty funny, though, to see somebody just, like, their car lift off the track,
Susie, you do not have the drink. You do not have the drink, Susie.
Yeah. That's not fun.
I'm sorry, Josh, what were you saying?
It's not plugged in or what? As you'll see, I don't even remember what I was saying now. Oh, yeah, it'd be pretty funny, though, in an iRacing league race. like, you ever seen those videos, like, people cheating in online video games where they're, like, just a car will be flying through the air, they'll be flying in a car?
Uh-huh.
That'd be funny. Imagine, like, Ken Baum's coming to the checker flag, and here comes, here comes Lucy flying through the air. All teleportation style, that'd be... Man, I'd all F4 and never call a race again after that. Alright, I've seen it all. Thank you. Just Harry Potter your way to a victory is... We will be coming up to 17 to go this next time by. Man, this race just feel like it has been going since yesterday.
Yeah, and Josh, I'm just gonna say, I'm not counting this 81 out just yet. I am not gonna count this 81 out. He has got a 7-second gap between him and third place, with 18 laps to go. We're gonna keep an eye out on this 81 machine and see how much distance he can make up within, we'll say within 3 laps. We'll see how much time that 81 machine's made up. Goes right back up here on board here with Kim Baum. Still got about a 2 8/10 gap between him and Kip Easley, and then Kip Easley still about a 2 10th. As I say that, Josh Susie, fastest lap of the session, 52.48. Man, these boys are moving now. He is trying his best to catch up.
Yeah, he is moving for sure. That's a wicked fast lap around here. As here, you see in front of him, David Smith Jr. was passing a lapped car, correct? Was that who that was?
That was,
No, it's David Smith. They're only 9/10 off of each other. Ooh, big into the wall there for the 53 of Bill Hells. He's already catching 4th place. If he can link up here with David Smith, he could get on a little bit of a run here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can't count him out just yet. He's one of those drivers that week in, week out, you know, like you said, Josh, we can't really count Chicago because, you know, that was, it's just one of those moments where you lose, you know, just one moment of concentration, and it can ruin your entire night. But like I said, you don't want to count him out ever, because that 81 machine is always going to show you that he has what it takes underneath him in that nitro setup machine to get up here into that top 5.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to put the loud pedal down. And ooh, thought we were going to have a caution back there for a second.
Yeah, we see Bill Hells.
Susie is going to have to, Chris, to really get on the ball, though, if he wants to get a podium out of this race. At least salvage that.
Yes, now, like I said, Josh, we were going to go 3 laps and see where he was at. He's currently sitting at an 11-second gap between him and Kim Bob. It was a 13-second gap. So he's shaved 2 seconds off of his lap time in a matter of 3 laps. So
yeah, but he ain't going to keep that 2 seconds up over a matter of 10 laps. So
yeah.
I just don't think he's going to have what it takes to go out to maybe win the race unless we get a caution or something. But he's for sure in the hunt still for a podium here. He's just got to... He's got to labor it, and he's got to keep the equipment going fast while also not tearing it up.
Yeah, because he's got William Brown 6 seconds ahead of him. You see going here into turn 1 is William Brown, still down the straightaway is Smill and Susie actually going into turn 1. So it's not a big gap between William Brown and David Smill and Josh Susie. So that 3rd place is still in reach. As you can kind of just barely see William Brown going in through the corner there just a second ago. As a pass for that 4th position, Susie going to make. Going into turn 3, he is going to take it away from David Smill. So Josh Susie going to move himself into that 4th position. And now this is where if David Smill can keep on that back bumper, you're like, hey man, push me as hard as you can.
Yeah, and if you're that 27, you're thinking, I can barely keep up with you. So I'll try.
That's would be my exact words. My exact words too. If Susie was to say, hey man, push me, I'd be like, okay, I'll try. If I can keep up, then we can push.
I can push your buttons. Not the most pushing I'm going to be able to do.
Ken Baum has still got about a 2-second gap between Kip Easley. As you see Kip Easley now coming into frame back there, but still behind him It's William Brown. So this top three, you know, is still could be anybody's ball game. We did see William Brown take away a podium last week. Like you said, Josh, he was going to be able to walk away with the race win if we just had 1-2 laps left. But just wasn't in the cards there for William Brown, but was able to walk away with a podium. It's looking like he might walk away with a podium here tonight as well. You see right behind him, Ken Baum and Co coming into, Susie and David Smil coming into the camera there. So about 5 2/10 off is Josh Susie from William Brown, but with 12 laps to go, I just don't know if he has enough time to make up. He might be able to catch William Brown. I would say if him and Smil can stay linked up, I would say that maybe Susie has an opportunity to get a podium. But we see David Smil already starting to fall off of Susie. So that whole linking up thing's not going to work. So now it's going to have to be all off of driving strategy there for Susie. He's going to have to really put the pedal to the metal and run the best lines that he can to be able to catch that 9 of William Brown.
Yeah, and all their gaps are starting to slowly shrink with each other. I mean, within the next 10 laps, the top three could look a little different, but I think it might just be Kip Easley, William Brown. I don't know if they're going to catch Ken Baum Jr. tonight.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to catch Ken Baum.
Find out, though. 10 to go.
Yeah, Ken Baum still got about a 2 and 2/10 gap now between him and Kip Easley. So Ken Baum kind of solidified this. If he can keep running the line that he's running, then he should be able to walk away with the win here. Kip Easley looking like he's holding on to that second position just as strong. William Brown holding on to that third spot, but, you know, right behind him, like we were saying, Josh Susie has now got that gap between him and William Brown to under 4.5 seconds. It's 4.2, Josh. 2 laps ago, it was 5.5. So
yeah, he's making time up. Just don't know if he's got enough. It would be by the skin of his teeth if he's going to do it.
Yeah, if he's going to get on the podium, it's going to be by the skin of his teeth.
Unless one of these guys have a hiccup here. Not going to count him out, though. Definitely not going to count out Josh Susie.
No. That is one driver that you will never hear me say that in this league ever since we started calling. Will not go against him.
Except for Chicago Street Course. I'm never voting for him.
Very true. It's now Josh Susie, 3 8/10 between him and William Brown.
William Brown's catching Kip Easley like a lot.
Whoa, William Brown a little loose.
Yeah, but he's going to keep it all relatively clean for right now, so it's not going to affect him at the moment. As the field pretty much just spread out here.
Yeah, as there's nobody.
Everybody got a gap. Everybody has a gap of over a second on each other.
Yeah, as I'm looking through the field right now, I would say the closest
Whoa,
battle for position.
Smoke? Or am I tripping? I'm tripping, man. I thought I just saw tire smoke. Oh, my goodness.
The closest battle for position on track right now is William Brown to Kip Easley.
I think they are the closest battle, a second and a quarter.
Yeah, a second and a quarter. That is the closest battle on track. The second closest,
like 2 seconds spot.
The second closest is David Smil and Kyler McCarthy at 1.8. So everything else above that is 2 seconds. So everybody has a gap. Nobody's battling for position. That's why we're just kind of riding on board here with your leaders. We're kind of cycling through, just seeing what's going on. But now Susie, Josh, has got that gap under 3 seconds. It's William Brown.
He's ticking them off. Now he's completely under 3 seconds, 2 9/10.
Yeah, so if Susie has anything to say, this is going to be where he's going to have to just basically throw the kitchen sink out the window and say, all right, man, we need to make this thing as light as we can.
And William Brown got, or excuse me, yeah, William Brown has got the interval under a second to, well, he had it under a second. Kip easily, but not anymore.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, it's going to be about 7/10 is where William Brown's going to start, grabbing that draft and really starting to help him. So wondering if Kip Easley is going to be able to keep that gap to about a second.
Woo.
But as I said, a lot of drivers getting really loose. Susie now about 2 3/10 off of William Brown. So this
you don't want to
is
see
where
that name in your black box coming up behind you.
Nope, you do not. It's now
At
William
least it's
Brown.
not red. Whoa!
Caution.
I don't know who.
As I see, I don't have a marker. Oh, it's the 26. It's the 26 of Jaden Bingaman. So we'll have to go old school blockbuster style. Be kind and rewind. It looks like Ryan Broderick also involved in it. So it looks like somebody got into the wall. Is that the
Carson Pittman?
Yeah, the for Carson Pittman. Looks like he got up into the wall and that freaked Broderick out, and I'm pretty sure Jaden didn't realize that's what was going on. So the way I'm seeing it happen is it looks like,
Come from this angle. You don't got to go that far back.
you see they're about to make contact there. You see him get into the wall. He goes up, and he probably doesn't expect him to slow down as much as he does, or be going as fast as he was, and then he just got up behind him, and you see that's what happened.
Well, I just completely threw a wrench in
Yeah.
this race.
Yes, it did. Because it should be a green-white checker whenever we come to the stripe. Yes, it will be. The pace lights are still on. Oh, man, unfortunate there. Like I said, you saw Ryan Broderick and I couldn't remember who it was. Or the four of Carson. No, yeah, Carson Pittman. Just looks like maybe make a little bit of contact. You saw Carson Pittman go up into the wall. Then you saw,
Ryan Broderick.
the five of Ryan Broderick, move down to the bottom, and the 26, just thinking that he was like, all right, we're just gonna keep, chugging. Probably didn't expect Ryan Broderick to be slowed up as much as he was. And when he got up to that back bumper, he was like, all right, I'm going to push, but, wasn't going as fast as he was anticipating. And then you see that's what happened. It's just...
Man, if I feel like this just commentating, I don't even want to know what those guys feel like driving right now.
Yeah.
I'm tired. And I don't even want to know what it's like to be behind the wheel right now. Goodness gracious. Well, if you were thinking this race was sealed up, the envelope was licked, and the mail was sent, well, you're wrong. Because we're about to have a restart that can honestly save Josh Soucy here.
Yeah, but you notice, Josh, nobody came down pit lane.
Why would you? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either, but I'm just saying, nobody came down pit lane. So everybody's electing to hold on to that track position. Soucy on a little bit fresher tires, but here's the question, though, Josh. How much did he...
natural green-white checkered? I think we're
yes.
natural green-white
We'll get a natural green-white checker. Here is the question, though. How much did Susie eat those tires up trying to catch up?
Yeah, and how hungry is Kip Easley and William Brown?
Yeah, you don't know how much these drivers, like, I know if it was me, if I was Kip Easley and I had or William Brown and I had a
If
good
I'm the
podium
8
position.
or the 9, I'm wrecking whoever I have to win this race right now. I don't care. I'm just going to flat out say it. Ken Baum Jr., Josh Susie, Robbie Bice, anyone, I don't care if it's the people that sign the paychecks at the end of the week. You're getting wrecked for this race win. Especially if I'm on a drought and not having some good success. I'm taking you out. We're winning this race.
Well, you have fun doing that. I'm not doing that.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not that malicious. I can sit and talk all that talk, Chris, but you know how I am. The second I come up to where I got to put the bumper to bumper, I'm gonna lift.
You're like me. You talk a Dale Earnhardt, but you're really a Mark Martin.
Yeah, but I am Ryan Newman when I'm a lapped car.
I will say I don't like letting people by. I don't care if you're.
I'll let the leader by. That's it. I'm one of those people. The leader can get by, and then everybody else, you're behind me, buddy.
Now, if I'm running the same line as the leader and I'm faster than him, no. But if he's faster than me, yes, I'll always get out of the way.
All right, Chris, speaking of getting out the way, that pace car is going to be getting out the way here in just a few moments. I don't even know where we're at on the racetrack. Yeah, we are. I thought we were coming out of turn 4. We are. As that iRacing pace car going to hit that hard left turn and unleash these monsters back out onto the racetrack. If you're Ken Baum Jr., Chris, right now, you're gripped up on that wheel and you're thinking, this is time to go. Green, 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 great restart. And a great restart from William Brown. He's going to get himself up into that position. Move to the outside. That's going to allow Josh Susie to the inside lane, Chris.
Just thinking that same thing. I wonder how this is going to set up. Do these guys have enough tires left? Whoa, somebody into the wall. Looks like the one of Dylan Hastings.
But he's going to gather it back up.
He's going to gather it back up. Keep it going. Okay,
here we go, Chris. Here we go. William Brown's wide.
Susie's following him just a little bit. We're going to probably see Susie. I was going to say maybe Susie make a move to the inside.
White flag, white flag. William Brown loose.
William Brown loose.
50 by.
Door to door is Susie with McCarthy. So the white flag is out.
Susie by. No way Susie's going to get back up into second place.
Whoa, Kyler McCarthy into the wall. It's going to be a battle for third place.
Susie's still not out of this race. Ken Baum just got to get through 3 and 4 here, unscathed. I mean, and he is within striking distance. 1 second, one little bobble hill from Ken Baum Jr. This could be Josh Susie's race. As we'll come out of turn 4 here to see the checkered flag, it'll be Ken Baum Jr. coming out of turn 4. Josh Susie, what an excellent, valiant effort. 0.3 of a second behind him, but it's just not going to be enough here. The checkered flag is going to wave, and it's going to go to Ken Baum Jr. What an excellent drive here from the 2 machine tonight. But man, hats off to the 81. A hell of a comeback here.
You see Ken Baum getting the congratulatory bump there from the 81 of Josh Susie. Good drive there from Ken Baum. It looks like William Brown fell all the way back to 5th place there on that front straightaway.
And Kip Easley, 5th and 6th. Started 2nd and 3rd, fell back to 5th and 6th.
Just goes to show you those better tires that Kyler and Josh had.
And then look at 2nd through 4th. It's all nitro.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to, split that team up. Make them do, a fantasy draft or something. They're too good. But we're not going to take away from the man who is the man of the hour, Ken Baum Jr., Chris. Absolutely excellent job here from the Turn 2's terrible number 2 of Ken Baum Jr. to bring that Toyota Camry home here tonight and bring home a race victory at Indianapolis. Going to get the car settled down, and he's going to start ripping them. Definitely deserving win here tonight from Ken Baum Jr. He deserves those burnouts. Great drive there from the number 2 machine here tonight. It looks like he is going to go ahead and park it backwards there on the start-finish line and virtually hop up out the race car. Great job there from Ken Baum Jr. here tonight. And we'll get to your post-race interviews here in a moment, but we'll go ahead and get through your finishing standings that are up on the screen. You'll see Ken Baum Jr. finish here tonight in first with Josh Susie, a spirited run back up into that second position. Colin McCarthy third with David Smill Jr. in fourth. William Brown, who had a moment there, thought he could have won this race. He's going to finish fifth. Kip Easley as well in that same boat as William Brown, going to fall back into that sixth position. We'll see Brady Green here in seventh with Jimmy Barr finishing eighth. Don DeGroot going to finish ninth here tonight with Bill Hells in 10th. Dylan Hastings going to finish 11th with Ryan Broderick 12th. Chris Lynn 13th with Matthew Fitz 14th. Shane Weldon 15th with Robbie By 16th. Jaden Bingham 17th. Carson Pittman 18th with Jason Hand 19th. Chad Engel 20th and Lucas Nilges 21st. We are just waiting for your 3 drivers to get up here into the interview queue, and we will get your drivers ready for their post-race interviews. We are waiting on Ken Baum Jr. Still going to go ahead and bring up third place finisher and just get our interviews going here from third place first. Kyle McCarthy, Chris, and Josh up here in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Loud and clear, boys.
Man, oh man, we'll have a quick word here you with Kyler. We know tonight was one of those nights, man, that it just seemed like everybody was kind of hanging out, running, but you and David seemed to link up a couple times here tonight. But at the end, after the restart, able to get yourself up into third, man. You got to say, probably not what you were expecting here tonight. I mean, I know you were probably expecting a good finish, but there towards the end with the green flag run, sure you weren't expecting to come away here with that podium tonight.
No, honestly, we kind of stole that one. Took a page out of William Brown's book last week when he pitted right at halfway. We went a little bit longer, so we'd have some fresher tires, and we were digging there towards Smil that last run, and that caution just kind of helped. And then having fresher tires than a couple of the guys, that was definitely a big plus. So, we'll take a P3 when we probably should have been fourth or fifth.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those things, man. We kept saying all night, everybody's got to be expecting anything to happen at any moment, and that anything happening came back to being good fortune for you guys over at Nitro with the second, third, and fourth finish. But Kyler, like you said, just able to work your way back up to the field, man. And if you've got any final words or thoughts or anything you want to get out before we let you go, you're more than welcome to let them out, and we'll let you get on your way, sir.
Yeah, thank y'all to y'all for doing the broadcast, Robbie for the league, everybody that tuned in, Jen, Sam, her kiddos, Carrie, AJ. I've got a bunch of people in town here at the house, so appreciate them watching. I think they're watching in the living room right now. So, I think we're off next week, so we'll enjoy the week off and have some fun.
Heck yeah, man. Well, again, Kyler, it was fun watching you guys put on a hell of a show here tonight. Congratulations on that third place finish, man. Good job keeping your head down, and hopefully we'll be seeing you here up in the booth here soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Sorry about the quick interviews here tonight. Just trying to get them done here, get you fans out of the way. No, we've had y'all here for about almost 3 hours now, so we'll go ahead and get that second place finisher of Josh Susie up here in the booth. Josh Susie, Chris, and Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, buddy. Well, man, we saw you roll off here P1 tonight, and then a little bit of a miscue, something. Not sure what. Yeah, that's what it was. You had a little bit of a miscue there on pit road that kind of put you back and kind of just digging yourself out of a hole there pretty much the rest of the race, but able to come back there with that late race caution, get yourself back up into second. Josh, just take us through that second half of the race there, and was you expecting to come back and get that podium position, and how does it feel rolling off P2 here tonight?
It's a good recovery. As soon as Ken got around me, I felt like he might have been a little more trimmed out than I was, because he was pulling me on the straight a little bit, even when I was in his draft with a good corner exit. So he definitely had awesome straight line speed, and I just kind of switched my strat when we did make it to 40 on that first one. It was about 38 laps on a fuel tank. I wanted to try to two-stop the race, so I was going to 80 and then not pitting again. So I just committed to it. You know, I gave up some time on that second run, lifting early, letting it get into the corner early, and being able to get that extra lap and a half on fuel. We ended up having that yellow. I think I was just running second for most of the time, and like I said, he just had that straight line speed, so it was always a question of what can I do that's different. Two tires wasn't going to work. Short pitting probably wasn't going to work. I mean, you saw how much time I made up just staying out 5 more laps than him. So it was to run long, hope for a caution, come in, get freshies. If we didn't get a caution, then see how much ground I could make back up with the freshies, kind of like William did last week at Pocono. If I had another lap or two, you know, on that restart, it would have played out. But, you know, overall, I think the best car won.
Heck yeah, man. Well, it was definitely one of those nights where we were thinking, we kept saying, can't count you out. Know that it was definitely a big deficit to work your way back through, but kept saying, don't count the 81 out, don't count the 81 out. And like you said, one more lap, we could have been talking to, you know, maybe someone definitely here. But Susie, if you got any final thoughts, words, any things before we let you get out of here, man, we'll let you get them out, and we'll send you on your way here tonight, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, as always, Nitro Setups, great piece again. We're just a little off with what Ken had, but I mean, 2, 3, 4 in the running order over the rest of the field. I think even Brody ended up with a P7, so that's awesome for him. You know, can't say enough and thank them enough for the great setups week in and week out. Great job to the league as usual. Have mostly green flag racing. I love that on these Wednesday nights. And I want to shout out you guys for the awesome broadcast I know it's going to be. And I think we have to run next week, but I'm really looking forward to that off week, the week after. So just got to strap up one more time. We get a little relaxation, then we can hyper focus for the playoffs.
Yeah, well, again, thank you, Josh, for having a word with us up here in the booth, buddy. We'll get you out on your way and enjoy the rest of your night, and hopefully we'll be talking to you here soon.
All right, appreciate you.
Appreciate you. And that was Josh. You're going to bring up our third and final, interview tonight. Your victor, Ken Baum Jr. Ken Baum Jr., Chris, and Josh up here in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry about the wait there, man. But hey, excellent race tonight from you, Ken. You rolled off here tonight on that outside pole position P2, and from the early get-go, it seemed like you had a car that was, you know, obviously very well put together. I mean, you were rolling right there behind the 81 of Susie pretty much all night, keeping in the draft in that early segment of the race. And then it seems like once you came down pit road, we saw a little bit of a hiccup there from Susie, and then it was all the two machine all night. You had great straight line speed, great corner exit speed. It just seemed like everywhere you were hitting it right. Ken, take us through the night, man, and how does it feel coming home, you know, with that race win tonight at Indianapolis, and how did the car feel going through here tonight?
No, it feels good to get the win. It's redemption for my internet dropping me at this track last year leading. I didn't have much time to practice. I went away with the family this past week and So the boys, set up a good car, and I didn't really change anything on it. I just tried to run my line and go for it.
Well, run your line and go for it. You did, man. I mean, it definitely seemed like tonight was one of those nights that, like you said, the car had a great setup, and you also had just a great feel of the car with the setup. I mean, you were able to make the passes when you needed them. You were able to keep the car out in front pretty much all night, and even through that last race scare right there with the caution, you were even able to keep the car out in front. So it just seemed like all night, Ken, the car was just hitting for you all, and you were just really on. You're firing off every cylinder, I should say.
Yeah, it worked out. You know, um, it I don't even know what to say. I was just kind of speechless because I wasn't really expecting it. I was fifth, the top five would have been fine for me, but I'll take a win.
Well, heck yeah, man. I know it's one of those things when you come into the race thinking, hey, a top five, and then, hey, I'm going to come away with the race win. I know how it is to sit here and think, I don't even know what to say right now. I don't even know how to feel. But, Ken, you did put on a heck of a show, man. And even to come in and just think that you were satisfied with the top five, to come home with the race win, I'm sure it's got to be a great feeling. But, hey, man, if you've got any final words, thoughts, shout outs, anything before we let you get out of here, you're more than welcome to throw them out, and we'll let you get on your way here and celebrate that race win tonight and enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, again, I got to thank the boys at T2T Racing with Bad Fast Car once again. Luckily, we got the win. My girlfriend, my baby girl, and Jeremy's our first photography. Sponsors do everything. They put this car on the track, and I'm just going to keep going out here and taking them away.
Hey, well, you're doing a great job, man, with the cars that they're putting on the track for you. Ken, it's been an awesome, awesome night watching you come home with another race victory here tonight, and hopefully we'll be seeing you back up here in the booth soon. Again, congratulations on that win tonight, and we'll be talking to you here soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, buddy.
Yep, I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you. You love it, Chris. As he's about to come out of here, I will talk to you guys again next week. So letting you know, Ken Baum is back into his prime, and he is ready to go. He is saying, I'm ready. So, hey, Chris, this has been an awesome race here in Indianapolis. Any final thoughts before we let the fans get out of here?
Yeah, well, we won't be talking to him next week. It'll be week after next because we'll be off this coming up week. But we got Nashville Super Speedway, I think, whichever one is painted in asphalt or concrete, like Dover. I can't remember which one it is.
That would be the Super Speedway.
Yes.
Fairgrounds is the short track.
Yeah, so then it's the Super Speedway. So that's where we'll be 2 weeks from now. But other than that, this has been a fun race. It's one of those races that I knew going into it that, it was going to be not boring. I don't want to say boring, but I knew it was going to be drawn out. It was going to be kind of spread out. I knew everybody was going to be not battling close to each other. This was going to be one of those tracks that you were either going to be on the line or you weren't going to be on the line. So it was good to see a lot of names up here that we don't normally talk about. A lot of drivers, showing that they've got these long track paces. But one of the big things that I'm looking forward to is to going to Nashville Super Speedway this coming up a couple of weeks. That's going to be a lot of fun. But just a big shout out to Robbie for letting us keep doing this and letting us have fun. And big shout out to all the racers, everybody out on YouTube that watches, everybody that tunes in every week. We couldn't do it without y'all, so we appreciate everybody and can't wait until the next race.
Indeed, can't wait for the next race at all. But this has been Chris and Josh up here in the Full Throttle booth, saying thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Like Chris said, thank you to everybody that makes this available to us and lets us get out here and have fun on the broadcast. Again, thank you for all the Full Throttle fans. We'll be seeing you not this coming up week, but next week at Nashville Super Speedway. Enjoy the rest of your next couple weeks, and we'll be seeing you here shortly from Nashville Super Speedway. This is a good night from Chris and Josh in the Full Throttle booth. Seeing you soon.